Hey everybody, Kanji's back for another playthrough of Ascension. This time we're going to go with the next expansion, which is called Dawn of Champions. This game was created by Justin Gary. The art done by Board Game Geek says unknown, but I'm believing it's Eric Sabe, and the publisher is Stoneblade Entertainment. So, I'm not sure of the lore for this part of things. It's just that the description on BGG is where there once was 6 realms, now there's 1, and new heroes arise to face the challenge. That's kind of weird because I know how we ended off before in Realms Unraveled that Adayu had lost his mind and the realms were unraveling. So maybe putting it back together created this, unified all the realms into one as we saved him, or maybe it didn't work. I don't know. So we're going to have to play through and see what happened. But let's go ahead and get into it. This expansion itself is a self-contained 4-player game, but you can mix it in with the rest of the Ascension expansions to make it a bigger game. Once again, I think 3 to 4 players is the best way to play it, but Board Game Geek says 2. So let's go ahead and get into it. Let's see, we'll create our game. We'll do Dawn of Champions. So as you can see, it's 4-player, but it's just me versus the AI again at a 3 to 4 ratio. So let's see how we do. Dawn of Champions introduces the new metric of these are the new champions, Dhartha, Nairi, Core, and Sadranis, which takes care of the Enlightened, Mechana, Lifebound, and Void. So we're playing as these new champions. They are us, and as we go through, we're just building up our decks to combat to see who the new champion will arise and be. So he got Mechana, surprise, surprise, and I got Sadranis, so we can take a look at him here. So Sadranis' card is, I can spend 1 champion point. I gain 1 champion point whenever I acquire or defeat a Void card from the center row. So this is where this new expansion presents itself with a new type of monster. So before, the monsters were just trophy monsters or just regular monsters or the big bad. Here, these monsters aren't trophy monsters. They are faction monsters. So Lifebound monsters. We see one in the background, and I'll show him a little bit later. So that kind of plays into what we're trying to accomplish here. And since Void is my champion, I'm going for Void cards because they just synergize well with him. But you can see after I get 4 points, I acquire Sadranis Dark Servant. And whenever you acquire defeat a Void card in the center row, rally 8 Void. So rallying is also a new mechanic. And what really happens with rallying is once I defeat a Void card or any card that says rally on it, whenever I acquire or defeat that card, the next card that comes out, if it's a monster that is Void, I defeat it. If it is a monster that is... If it is a hero or a construct that is Void, then I acquire it for free. So rallying just means whatever card comes next, whatever that rally word is, then if that pops up, you pick it up, if that makes sense. And if it doesn't, we'll do a playthrough so you can kind of see how it looks. So Sadranis is this. Draw 2 cards, then discard a card, and then banish card. So because he's Void, he's about milling decks and drawing and card draw. So I'm going to go with that. I might mix him in with either Enlightened or Lifebound. Lifebound worked really well with Void last time, as you saw, not can saw. And we'll just see where it goes from there. All right, so I go first. Deck of 10, 8 Apprentice, 2 Militia, which means 8 buy power, 2 combat power. Usual beginning deck across all these expansions. It works that way. So let's see. I'm going to get the Shades Construct for 1. So you saw that proc that just happened. It was because I gained a point for acquiring that. You may banish a card. Now there's 2 Spark Plugs, including this one game too. So I'm going to steal these from him because I don't want him to have them. And you see these monsters here? So check this out. You see this one on this one? Let me pull it up a little bit bigger. Hopefully my big head isn't in the way. But after the reward, you may put a hero from your discard pile on top of your deck and then rally Lifebound. So that means that after you defeat this monster, if anything Lifebound gets put in its place, you acquire that card for free. Alright, 1/1 can't really do... Oh, I can. I'll buy it. and then end my turn. Alright, let's go ahead and play this through. Guide of Lost Souls. You may banish a card in your hand or discard pile. If you do, replace it with Mystic or Heavy Infantry. Death Mill, Void. Go ahead and pick it up so that procs again. Now remember, notice down here I have 2. If you can see on the left side next to my deck, it's kind of keeping track of the counts of how much I have. When I get 4, I acquire Sadranis. And it'll be automatic in the game, but on your tabletop, just keep that in mind, and then you just take the card when that happens and immediately put it into your discard. So go ahead and end my turn. Okay, so first, Lost Souls Guide, and I'm going to get rid of this militia to get a heavy infantry. Put this down to get 2. Put that one down, put down to get 4 so I can defeat some stuff here. So I can rally Lifebound or rally Mechana. You may put a hero from your discard pile on top of your deck. I don't have anyone in my discard pile. Gain 3, you may pay 3 less next time you acquire a construct this turn. There are really no constructs out here. But it rallies Mechana, so let me do that. And this becomes a free card because it's a construct. So what happened was it said, now it's your turn, you can acquire any construct for 1 less. Because this card was 1, it became 0, so it's a free buy for me. And even though the Mechana didn't work, it just so happened that way. Alright, we'll go ahead and end my turn. So that rally, he got a free 7 card. We'll go ahead and throw this out and hit play. Nothing really much to do. I'm going to go for combating because I want him to be good. Spark Blood. Hit play. 2 heavy infantry, end my turn. So I'm building for combat because I want to beat these monsters. And he's going to try to do the same. So I'm going to play this first. And then we're going to banish an apprentice. Pick up a heavy infantry. Hit play for 4 so I can rally Lifebound. Not a Lifebound card. Not so great, but once per turn, if you have played 2 or more Enlightened cards, including this draw card, it's a free card. He did acquire some Enlightened. Let's see what's behind it. Ooh, that hurts. When I acquire this card, Rally Void, so if he gets that, I'll be sad. And he does. Rally Void, notice it was Void, so it became a free card to go to him. And that's how Rally works. So he's picking up all the Void cards, and I'm not, which is pretty bad. I get a Mystic and hit the Cultist and end my turn. That rally really worked for him. Yeah, a lot of bad stuff just happened. He picked up 2 7s because his ability allows him to do that. So just like that, he caught back up. Once per turn, you may pay 2 to gain 1. I got a Mystic and hit the Cultist twice. I probably should try to get that as quickly as possible, but it didn't work out that way. So he's synergizing like crazy on me. I get rid of Spark Bug. Not really doing so well. You may banish a card in your hand or discard pile, gain 2. Choose 1. Acquire a construct with cost 5 or less without paying its cost, or defeat a monster with 5. And that's Surge Protector's how he did it. But I'm going to get my own. Hit the Cultist once. The deck mill cards aren't coming up the way that I want, which is bothering me. See, I'm getting one. He's beating me to the punch each time. He's already at 11, so he's already caught back up. Okay, so we'll go ahead and banish this for So I can... You may banish a card. So nope, oops, almost messed up. Almost messed up. I'll banish this apprentice to pick up a heavy infantry. Hit play. You may acquire a hero, cost 5 or less without paying its cost. The next time you acquire a hero in the center row, rally lifebound. No more rallies in here. Gain 2, 1 for each faction you control. I'll get one of those. And he's going to pick this up because I can't get it in turn. Surprised he wouldn't go for this construct, though. That's what surprises me. He may go for both. Because this is Mechana, that'll help proc what he needs. When you acquire this, you may acquire a construct in center. So he gained 4 from that one. Copied the effect to gain 9, which means he can get both. He got Core of the Iron Mine, so he got his card. He's got that construct. He defeats this monster, picks up another free card. So the chains are rough. So acquire so there's no construct to acquire, but I'm going to defeat that monster. Going to gain 4, so I can try to keep up with him. And then I need to just be the acquire a hero without paying his costs. Gain, yes, I'm going to pick that card up. That's okay. And then in turn. Man, he is milling the deck. I don't think I can beat him. Not this turn. Look how much he's picking up. Just from pure card draw. There's nothing I could do about that. Rally Lifebound. Discard a card. Oh, put a card on my top deck. I didn't pay attention to that. Oh. I need to read more. I thought that was discard because it was... that was the worst. He got an 8. His deck is insanely powerful right now, and there's nothing I can do about it. I get the Muse. I'm 1 away from summoning mine, and he's already summoned his and gotten all 7 and 8 constructs. Rally Lifebound. That's not Lifebound. So let's take a look at this for a second, because this keeps coming up. Once per turn, you may reveal the top card of your deck and put it in your hand. If it is Enlightened or Lifebound, gain 3. That's what he's been using against me. Then he drops the once per turn when you acquire a Lifebound hero or Mechanic construct, you may put it at the top of your deck, which he's been pulling that off. And you may treat all constructs as though they are all factions. Notice this is a 7 and 2 5s, so that's pretty rough. There's no monsters to really beat. I'll say 2, 4, 3. Rally Void. So I get my card finally. I will not banish that card. Let's see. You may banish a card in your hand or discard pile. I'm going to get rid of this Apprentice even though it's not going to do anything for me. You can banish a card in your hand. If you do, replace it with a Mystic. I probably should have been a lot more smarter than that. But I was not, so I wasted that to death. But I got 2 from this. If you've played 2 or more Void cards, gain 2. So I get to hit the Cultist once. He's going to beat me in card count, bottom line. I am not going to get that at all. So he's going to, that mill that he had before, watch that come out. So this is his main hero, gain 2 and 2. If you control 2 or more constructs, draw a card. So he gets a free card. For each faction, he gets a point. When you acquire this Rally and Light, draw a card. If you have 8 or more, draw an additional card. So he gets two more cards to draw. Then, draw a card. You may banish a card in the center row to Rally Enlightened. So if Enlightened pops up, he gets a free card. And it does, so he got a free card. So he's got 5 more cards in hand because of all this card draw that he did. I'm completely decimated this game. He's got 8 attacks, so he's going to beat the Betrayed Templar. You may defeat a monster in center row, cost 5, so he's going to beat this card to beat this card to rally Mechana. Then, if Mechana's back there, he gets a free card. He copied that. Oh, he's going to defeat them all. Wow. Okay. So, he defeats this card to defeat another monster to rally Mechana, but it's not. And then he defeats this card with his last bit. But it rallies Mechana, which what came out, and that's what he got. I stand no chance against this man this round. Mechana isn't what I really had. Yeah, I can see it on this. This is bad. So he defeats both of these monsters. Drawing cards, doing Enlightened. Yep. Notice the numbers are going up. He's at 64 right now. He's just tearing into me. So I'll put this up here. Defeat this monster. Rally Void, defeat that monster. Banish cards in my hand. We're down to 20, so we're already in the end game because he's been destroying me. Let's see what else we can do. Acquire a hero without paying its cost. What's the highest one we have here? A 4. When you acquire this, you may put it on the top of your deck. Put on deck. And then hit play. Let's see, we've got... When you acquire this Rally Lifebound, when you acquire this Rally Lifebound, draw a card. If you have 8, draw an additional card. You may spend crystals as though it was combat to defeat Lifebound monsters. This is a Lifebound monster, so this is a chain, right? But I'm going to go for the Seer because we're so close to the end. And because we rallied, I get that card for free. And Plasma Cannon, he's going to get for sure for an 8 count. His card draw is going to kill me. Alrighty. So now that you're seeing how Rally is working, that's the meat of this expansion. The heroes that you're fighting against is just a way to get a free card once you do something specific. Those cards are good, but they don't come off as the greatest. So whether I've gotten the Mechana construct, I've gotten the Lightbound, and I've gotten the Void one, but I've never gotten the Enlightened card in the draw. Usually when you take it to tabletop, you'll be able to shuffle the cards and do it randomly, or you can pick which ones you want. Since I haven't tried the Enlightened one, I don't know which one is best. To me, I had the most fun when I played the Lifebound, hero, but that's up to you to decide what you want to do. Okay, you're done. Bye. When you acquire this, you may put it on top of your deck. Draw 2 cards. Okay, so I'll play that. And then Trophy Monster. You may defeat... So he is the big... This is the big bad of this expansion. Xeron Lord of Deofol. So he gives you 6, and then he says you may defeat heroes in the center row by paying combat equal to the money. And if you do, gain... But he came 2 seconds too late. I'm going to fight him and make him my hero, but he came He came way too late in the game for me to really do anything. So I'll defeat him, and that ends the game basically. I'll get this for 1 extra point, and there shouldn't be a reason to carry on. After he goes, there shouldn't be a reason to carry on. The points that he has in his cards are just way too much. I can't come back from that. But this has been a good playthrough. I'm just going to suffer the end and make it 3-5. But this has been really fun. I've had fun with this expansion, but it's not my favorite. It may be yours. Buy it, take it to tabletop. Just to let you know, I believe that in the coming weeks, if you're looking at this now, it should be next week. If you're looking at the future, it's probably already happened. But there's a new Kickstarter coming out for Ascension that actually takes it to a miniatures version of the game, to where you have the board deck that you have, but then you have a battle map that combat comes on. We don't know too much about what that means. So I'm waiting to see when more news comes out when the Kickstarter drops to just see what that looks like. But I'll report more on it later. So let's go ahead and see my demise here as he crushes me terribly. And he's cooking up some really big points. I wonder if he can... He's really getting some good card draw here. 3 cards left in his hand. This is his hand, his draw pile, his discard pile. This is how much constructs he has, and then how much crystals he has. And over here, what you're seeing is how much points he has for his hero. So he has 8. So he has 2 cards left. He's already at 13. And he's got 80 crystals so far. This is the part where, you know, like when you watch anime where the guy puts down the card that blows me away and I fly off into the distance. That's where this happens. Alright, so he has 2 cards left to play. So he's rallying, just building up and building up. He still has 2 cards in his hand that he hasn't played yet. So there's 1. He finally played the last one. So now he's on monster destruction duty. So it's that one, and then he's going to take out the cultist. 93. Wow. Commanding win. Notice that when he was playing, he had the 7s that he was pulling because of the rally. So rally's a good way. Rally was invented because there's the thing called a chase that happens where in games where it's deck building, if one person gets the upper hand, it's this chase to try to catch up to them, but you never really can. So you may luck out and they just have a bad draw, but by that time they're already in a flow. Rally was made to combat the chase, in my opinion, to where someone can play and get those big cards in their deck that can help them combat someone who's already moving ahead and try to level set the playing field. This is how it happened. I was crushed, and we're at 3-5 now with in the AI's favor. We'll see you next time. Thank you so much. Thank you to my subscribers. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments below. Questions or comments, I'll be happy to field them. And like I said, I will report later about the Kickstarter once I know more about it. But have a nice day, everybody. Bye.